This is Apex Zero for IAmHipHop magazine. I'm here with Divine RBG family. Just
right.
The show.
Dead Prez. Thank you, man.
It was a
Thank
big
you
show.
It was dope. You know, I want to thank IAmHipHop for this interview. You know, man, let's get started. What we want to know, what you want to know, I'm gonna let you know.
Well, I guess first things first. How did you get involved with M1 and with Dead Prez, and how did you?
Oh man, I'm one of the homies from day one. You know what I'm saying? When M and Stick came to New York, we had a collective, and we was doing what we was doing, and we was cool with Lord Jamal and Brand Nubians, and Lord Jamal, introduced them to us, and it was like, yo, Maine, Divine, take M and Stick around, M was from Brooklyn, so he was familiar with the city, but Stick was new to the Bronx. They wanted to be where hip hop was created at. So, we created this whole unit, and we started doing political education once and twice a week out of a place in the Bronx, and that's how the People Army started, and we all started because at the time it was all about us being intelligent but gangster, because we knew and understood that we had a strong tie and relationship to our community, and our community wasn't based upon, it was a lot of crime and a lot of stuff that was happening in the Bronx, but we was able to detach ourselves with political education and find some self-determination through that, through positive education, self-determination through, whether it be boxing or martial arts or physical fitness. So we had things in common with people that might not have been on, who Huey P. Newman is, who Sekou Odinga is, who certain political prisoner was, but we was able to meet, how I like to say, at the 50-yard line, right there in the middle, with some that you might be interested in. Say, yo, you don't want no political, you don't really into political education, or you don't know, but you learn political education while you learn how to throw a jab, while you learn how to throw a cross, while you learn how to throw a hook. So it was dope, and we still doing this now, and people might not, the people that know that we've been doing this for a long time, but it just feels good to have a new audience, a new generation of youth and people and community that want to hear real hip hop, you know what I'm saying? And IAmHipHop, you know what I'm saying? That's hip hop.
That's what we wanted to ask. I mean, that link you said between the community and the music, that's something that we focus a lot in this magazine. And so, with you being from the Bronx one and Puerto Rican too, how do you relate the indigenous struggle, the struggle of the indigenous people of what is now called the Americas? How does that influence your outlook?
Well, being Puerto Rican and Puerto Rico's unique relationship with the United States, we the last colony, we colonized, and people know that. And being from Puerto Rico, I'm able to understand the importance of me identifying with my indigenous roots, because I'm reminded of it every day in my community. And I mean in my community being like outside of my immediate hood or my block, but when you go down to like the major part of the city where you understand that Big Brother's running, and Big Brother always reminds you that you're not of him. So if when he tells you you're not of me, and you can't identify with who you really are, he's gonna tell you who you are, and you might accept that. So being Puerto Rican, it's easy for me to be like, I'm Puerto Rican, I'm indigenous, I'm Taino. I understand that I'm Taino, I understand that I'm a Boricua, and I identify with being an Afro-Taino, meaning that I know and understand that I'm also black and brown, you know what I'm saying? So that's what me and M always concentrating on doing. I'm speaking Spanish on the Let's Get Free album, got me Get Free at that time. Also, I'm rapping on the Get Free at that time, but in the Let's Get Free, I'm speaking in Spanish, and that opened us up to a whole lot of stuff, And I want to big up a lot of indigenous rappers out there that y'all should know about. Intikana is one of the brothers out of the Bronx. Intikana Kekaway is his name. You should look him up. I got a song with him called Culture Shock. It's me, M1, and him, where we directly tapping into our indigenous, people where I got the warrior garment on, you know what I'm saying? And through my I started a movement to really, to say that I understand that I'm indigenous. It's called Brown Blood, and it's all about us getting the brown people to understand that we want people, regardless of where we're from, and that, and then bridge the gap between the black and brown community. So being indigenous is, you know, I got long hair, you know, so this is, I just don't got this for fashion. I got this to say that I understand that I'm Taino, you know what I'm saying? So this is just dope, you know.
It's a beautiful thing.
And I love it. Culture is what's gonna free us.
Yeah.
Once we able to identify our culture, then we'll be able to identify who the master is. And we are the masters of our culture. So if we don't understand our culture, then the master that calls himself the master will let us know who we feel as we are. He never gonna tell you who you are. You gotta identify with who you are. You gotta be able to say, I know who I am. I claim my birthright. Once you claim your natural birthright, he can't touch you and he'll tell you that. You know?
This idea of linking, of one being aware of your own indigenous culture, and then being aware of other indigenous cultures around the world, you know, it's very important. And it's just the way that you said you're linking up on the track Culture Shock with two different peoples, two different nations of the indigenous culture, and then African indigenous. How do you link that with other sort of this idea of solidarity internationally with maybe people of Palestine, or the Tamil people, with something that some brothers that we built with of Tamil origin, and the way that they were brutally massacred in Sri Lanka.
That's right.
And M1 shouted them out at one of the shows you guys did. And I just want to ask you some questions on how important do you think it is to create solidarity with struggling oppressed people around the world?
I want you to know that Palestine and Puerto Ricans have been supporting us to struggle in the whole Palestine since this whole shit started. How we say solidarity, how we show solidarity is by saying, I am Palestinian. I don't have to be from Palestine. But if I go to Palestine, I'm going to identify and be placed in the struggle, and I will have to help fight for liberation if I was there. Just like right here, if I'm in London, I'm going to identify with the black and brown communities of London. You're not going to see me, you know, in Camden Lot identifying with people outside of my culture. You know, and there's a mentality out there of people that are indigenous but think like a capitalist. You understand what I'm saying? So even those people, as much as at the end of the day they'll try to identify you, but during the 9 to 5 they don't want to identify. So this struggle's 24 hours and it exists everywhere. You know what I'm saying?
About the this idea of the capitalist, you know, identifying yourself. Again, just to bring it back to the Tamil thing, because the people there. They're now, after their state was crushed, they rose up with the Tigers, had their own state, independent state, was crushed brutally, and now they, like a lot of people who were in a similar situation, are trapped between this choice of the genocidal Sri Lankan government and then the US or the European powers who are offering help. You know,
but they're not gonna get help from neither side. The people have to be able to create a government. Because the government is needed, you know, but it has to be a government that is supported by the people and that benefit the people's best interests, you know, and that's something that, you know, I can't really get into depths of as far as like saying that I know the answers to that. I just want you to know that I identify with the struggle and I identify with the position of the people and their stand and where they're supposed to be, you know.
Yeah, it's important. I think the similarities between the struggle of the Tamil people and the struggle of the indigenous, I don't even like to use the word Americans, you know, but the indigenous people of the Americas, is this idea that now you're not allowed to express your culture, you know, you're not allowed to mourn your dead, you're not allowed to even to speak about the struggle that's going on because it's criminalized.
That's right, and they're always gonna do that because they don't want to resurface anything that's gonna wake people up. You know, they don't want to deal with topics that's going to resurface issues that have been put under the rug. You know what I'm saying? You know how they do? They burn your literature. They take your elders.
Destroy your history.
You know what I'm saying? They make you behave other than yourself. They have you eating foods that's not going to connect you to the ground. You understand what I'm saying? They got you eating foods that's not going to even let you think properly. So it doesn't matter. You understand what I'm saying? What matters is that we able to identify who we really are and what's going to benefit us and what's poison and what's nutrients. You understand what I'm saying? And I fast and pray that the people of that community are able to get through this as safely as possible, because many blood has been shed, and there's no way to clean that blood up. You know what I'm saying? So as much as they try to throw them in the rug and mop this bloodshed up, they're not going to be able to do it. So we don't need to relive this. We need to be able to know that blood has been shed for us to exist here. Just like for me and you to be right here, sacrifices was made. People have died for us to be able to sit right here. And it's our obligation to be able to say that I'm going to renew my history and I'm going to move forward. You understand what I'm saying? And you should be always renewing your history, because we don't know everything. And what we know is forgotten. And what we don't use, we lose. So if we're not applying this every day, applying, some things seem redundant to people. Some things seem repetitive, but you need consistency to stay where you at. If not, we're going to, fall out of acid. We're just going to go straight away into the universe without foundation.
Yes, I guess just to bring it back to you.
Yeah. I am the people though, so I don't mind talking about that. I just don't like to speak about things that are really heart draining. Like this is something that when we speak about people dying and cultures being stolen,
it takes its toll.
It takes it
on the spirits.
Yeah, man, because I can't even say nothing about that. Like, to be really honest with you, it's like I could know about it, I can identify, but I can't really understand unless I'm there, holding one of mine and saying, yo, I can answer that question. You understand what I'm saying? But I can tell you that, yo, that shit is fucked up. And it's up to us to be like, we're gonna stand by people. Social media has the power for us to be able to be like, you know what? If things don't stop over there, we're not moving over here. We're not moving over here. And it could be somewhere totally outside of the jurisdiction. You know what I'm saying? It's like, yo, we're not moving in the whole state of California because the whole Palestinian community here is not moving. And we are joining forces with the Puerto Rican community, the Colombians, with the Puerto Ricans, anybody that's indigenous. You know how powerful that is?
It's global unity.
Yeah, and we gotta understand that. We just can't be using social media to be able to be like, oh, he looks good, she looks good. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. We need to be able to be like, hi, comrade, we share the same struggle. What can we do to join forces over there? That's what we doing. That's what the RBG People Army, what's what we doing? We come here to say, yo, who identifies with this? Who identifies with our struggle? Who's ready to get down with this? That's it. We're bringing you home. These are our principles. This is what we fight for. Add on to it.
That's it, man. That's what we feel like you man are doing this. You brothers are doing this. And that's why I wanted to speak to you about it, because a lot of people aren't even aware of what's going on with this particular community.
Yes.
And for you, man, M1 specifically, but you as a movement, to shout them out at your show brings a whole different world of information and enlightenment on this struggle.
And it brings dialogue, which is important. It brings conversation. It's like right now, if I tell you, yo, you know what's going on in my neighborhood? I'm bringing this conversation to you, and it's bringing a dialogue that you can say, oh, this shit is happening in my community, and this is what we're doing to resist against that.
And you're opening your minds to like you said, bigger than your hood, bigger than your country, you know, bigger than where you're looking at right now. You realize that it is a global struggle. You realize the same things that happen in the Bronx that happen in the mind.
That's right. It's the same. It's the same. We might not, we might eat different foods, we might cook it differently, but we the same people suffering the same shit every single day. Every single day we all trying to find a way to get out of this shit. I just can't wait till the day where we don't have to work to have to pay for somewhere to live. That's like the basic shit. It's like, fuck all that extra political education is. Don't you want to be able to work to express yourself? You understand what I'm saying? Like, you know how many people are still going to say, I like to clean. I want to clean and make sure this stays clean. I like to do this. I'm going to make sure I still do this tomorrow. But it don't have to be under no, you got to do this tomorrow at this time.
Arrow to the back of your head.
Yeah, it's got to be, we have to make sure that this stays done. So, and the people got the power to do that. You know how many people want to work? I know people that really want to work, and they're getting treated like shit, and they forced to do other things, but that's how they force you into crime. They want to tell you, yo, you can get a job, but they don't tell you the realities of you. It's so hard to get a job now. You can't even get a job at McDonald's. Before it used to be like, yo, go work at McDonald's. Now it's like not even McDonald's. You can't even go work at a mom and pop shop.
We don't have them over here. Can you explain?
A mom and pop shop, yeah, I have them. Well, a mom and pop shop will be like what's back here, where it's owned by people. You know, people buy jobs. You know what I'm saying? It's like, you know, I'm gonna sell clothes. That's a mom and pops because it's not backed by a major corp. Yeah. It's not like the Gap. It's not like other corporations that is, you know,
independent.
Yeah.
Charity.
Yeah.
Charity.
Yeah.
Charity. Like
Exactly.
A charity shop.
Yeah. So yeah, a charity shop or a mom and pop self-explanatory, owned by mothers and fathers in our community. You know what I'm saying? So it's a sad state of the world right now, man. And people still consume, people still buy, people still do all these things that just stray us away from our goal. You know what I'm saying? So
how are you expressing yourself? And what music can we expect from Divine RBG?
Oh man, I'm so excited because hip hop is so in dire need of something tangible. So I'm working on a Black and Brown album with M1. I'm working on my solo album, Divine RBG presents I Am Divine. I want to do a lot of things. I'm working with kids. I want to do this. I'm working with female juveniles, and I teach them how to write. Yeah, it's a writing program, and after reading their poems and the exercise that we do with them, I want to be able to. I'm gonna take all the work that they submit to me, and I'm gonna make like an anthology, and then I'm gonna like create this whole album based upon that and the state, because the state of the woman. See, the woman raised our community, and if you see how the woman is being used as, is a driving force of the universe, you know, and she's the reason why me and you can't even get along, because she's not in her position, and neither is the man, because she's reflecting his light. So I feel like it's important for us to identify with the woman's struggle, and women alone have a struggle. And and once we identify that men have a struggle, women have a struggle, and that our children have a struggle, we are able to create some type of order. So I want to focus on women. Like Tupac's greatest records were identifying with the women's struggle, and that's why women are so passionate about it, because they are saying he identifies with his mother, he identifies with his sister. You understand? So I'm excited for that, you know what I'm saying? Because she gives us life, man. And even the greatest women, like even Beyonce, that has a husband that's supposed to be, you know, and no, nothing to take away nothing from B, but I just want to show her because I know that she has an innocence to her, and I know that she has a class to her. So when I see her drive this whole sexual culture that she's driving right now, I hope that she's able to see that what she's doing is straying our young women away from where they're supposed to be going. And she's a person that can totally take them in the other direction. So I want to see women take the powerful position again. And I want to challenge people like Lauryn Hill not to just make an album, but be a mentor to young women that have talent. That she can say, look, this is the type of guidance that you need. You know, just like people like Public Enemy came around us. Like the greatest, you know, Brand Nubians, Rakim, KRS-One. I could name them all that sat with us and said, yo, we love what you do. You know, and that gives us the strength to keep moving forward. You know what I'm saying? And when you say I am hip hop, you're saying that I am the community. Because hip hop is a culture, right? Hip hop, it really is. Like, that's why I'm here talking to you guys, because we speak hip hop. We speak the culture, and we identify with the culture. You get discriminated the same way I get discriminated for listening to this music. You understand what I'm saying? So that makes us a community. Yeah, living it. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, it's just scary to think of how we can lose this if we don't take it and hold it and cherish it. So, you know, publications and magazines like IAmHipHop that are interviewing the real people in the culture, that are asking the real questions in the culture. You know how many people interview me and will never ask me about how do I identify with my indigenous culture? How do I apply that in my everyday life? That's a deep question. You know what I'm saying? I got 4 top 40 records. I was signed to a major label, and I'm Grammy nominated. And none of that shit means nothing to me. brown blood or brown pride or talking about being indigenous. People don't, if you don't know what the word indigenous means, you should look it up.
Education, right?
You understand? You should start there. Because before it wasn't as easy as it is now to get information. You know, before they used to have books called encyclopedias. And if you ain't have a complete set, you might be missing out on information, global information. Now you have, you know, I won't say that everything on Wikipedia and Google is accurate, but I can say that you can start looking for yourself and taking the best part and doing research. Research the research. You know what I'm saying? Research the research until you get the facts. See, numbers don't lie. Anything that you add into the number 9 is gonna born itself again. So 2 plus 9 is 11, 1 and 1 is 2. Get it? So that's it. Once you break it down and keep doing research, you're gonna get the facts. You know what I'm saying? Once it's born. So
it's divine mathematics. Right?
Yo, it's divine mathematics, and mathematics is a universal language. Mathematics is spoken in the universe. If there was, I don't want to get far, if there was extraterrestrials or aliens, we would be speaking to them in numbers, time and distance, and we'd probably be playing music. Because music is time and space. You understand? Let's talk about what I know about. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, pleasure, man. I am hip hop because I am hip hop. You know what I'm saying?
Divine RBG.
Yo represento el barrio que vive en sufrimiento, reviento al tirano que mi hermano dejó muerto y siento que quieren destruir el movimiento. No importa el lenguaje, tú sabes que yo te entiendo.